a step outside and seize the day now. Set aside your worries, it's okay now. The sun is here to stay. Blue skies, feel the wind beneath you as you fly.
Hey YouTube, it's Janita from Blessed to Press Creations, and thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be walking through the process of recreating a t-shirt that I have that someone ordered for me. And what I'm doing, what I have on the screen right now is a template that I got from Angelo Bonaparte from Sublimation Cove on Facebook. And he also has a YouTube channel. I will link him down below. This template is for a Jersey's 21M 1X t-shirt. The shirt that I'm using is a Cricut Women 3X shirt. I don't have a template, and I have not seen a template for a particular 3X size, particularly a Cricut shirt. But I did create this shirt. I did create this design using the template that Angelo provided in Affinity Designer. When I used the 2X template, it was way too big for the shirt, and my design didn't fit within it. Some of it printed, some of my text and everything printed outside of the actual shirt space. So I figured there has to be a way that I can still use this and get it to work out for the shirt. So this is what I'm attempting today. I haven't gone through the steps of printing this yet. I did print out the one that I did with the Affinity Designer. I'm going to end up, because I don't want to waste the print, and I'm going to just send it to the client on something else, because the image, the rectangle of the image, I will still be able to print onto a different type of substrate. Everything that's over here does not have any text on it in my design. So what I've done is I've uploaded the PNG file version of it that is not associated with Affinity. When you get the template from Angelo, if you get it, he does provide you with a couple of different formats. You have all of the different shirt sizes in Affinity Designer, and then he did upload JPEGs or PNGs that you can upload to another type of software, which is what I'm trying to do here in Silhouette Studio. Okay, so this is the template here. What I have on the side here is two boxes that I've attached to represent the height and the width of my actual shirt. My actual shirt measures roughly 30 inches wide by 30 inches tall, from the collar to the bottom of the shirt and from tip to tip, 30 by 30. So these boxes, I've just in my mind put them together to make sure that my rough area, the entire surface of my shirt would fit inside of the design with bleed, and then I can match up my design inside of here. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So we're going to put my box over to the side, and the first thing that we have to do, because if you just bring this in with this white space in here, your design that you've already created outside of Silhouette Studio will not load up into this right here. Let me backtrack a little bit real quick. When I originally did this, where I created my own template from the actual Cricut shirt, creating the design in Silhouette Studio, you have to, because it's not a full graphic design program, you have to make your design, export it out as a JPEG or a PNG or whichever file type you want to use, and then import it back in, because Silhouette Studio can't deal with all of the layers that are something to that effect of what you're creating. So you have to do all those steps. I don't own the software, so I don't have the ability to export out as a JPEG or as a PNG. I can only export out with the free basic edition as a Silhouette file. So what I was doing whenever I create designs, or what I do when I create designs in here, because I do that, I just use the snipping tool, snip it, export it out as a PNG that way, then you bring it back in. The problem with that is the image is small when you bring it back in. So if you don't have great resolution to begin with, when you stretch it out to be large again, you're going to lose some of the resolution, and it's going to be very pixelated. And that's what happened with this design that I created. So I created my design in Canva, or recreated my design in Canva, and then I went back and forth adjusting things until I got it to fit. So what we're going to do, the first thing that we're going to do with this template, because we don't have to worry about exporting it once we get it to the next stage, the very first thing that we have to do is we have to remove the pattern, remove the fill from this template here. So we're going to go over here to the select trace area tool and select the shirt. and we're going to trace the outline. So I want my edges to be nice, my lines to be nice and crisp. So I'm going to increase the threshold to 100 and then trace the outer edge. Now you may know of a better way or a more precise way to do this, but this is how I'm trying to see if it's going to work for me. And from my previous little test, I haven't printed it, but I've gone beyond this step so far. So now we have this, and we're going to actually fill this transparent image with our image, transparent template with our image. So I'm going to go to downloads. Here is my design. Bring it and drop it right into the template there, and everything, boom, everything is there. Once I get to this stage, so when Angelo, this design, and I've seen it on seen the same upload file on some other Facebook groups or Facebook videos on Facebook that I follow, they offer the same template. So I'm not sure who created the template or where it came from, but you can find this actual template for Affinity Designer on the internet or on various Facebook groups. So when that drops in, before I do anything, I'm going to select my shirt, and I'm going to increase the thickness of the edge around the shirt. I'm going to leave that on there even when I print, because I need that red line to show me where to cut my shirt out. And I want it nice and thick so I can really see it. Okay, so with my design in there, before I do anything, I'm going to take the template of my shirt that I created, move it to the front, and I'm going to bring it over onto my design. And I'm going to make sure that if I place my shirt on this template, once I print it this way, I just want to make sure nothing that I have text wise or image wise is out here outside of these edges of that I have some bleed room here in the armpit area. I have bleed room up here on the top, across the top of the shirt, all around, and everything that I have is within the border of the shirt. Okay, I have room that I can actually move it down just a smidge if I wanted to. I know that this is going to work on the Cricut shirt because, again, this design, I created it against the actual Cricut shirt when I had uploaded that onto Design Space, and when I took the background out of the shirt that I took a picture of, I did my edit points around the collar of the shirt as well, so I would know how high up I can put this portion of the picture there. So it worked out. So this image is created with the Cricut shirt in mind. So everything works out. I'm good on that. I can remove my box from here. I'm just going to push it over to the side. Then the very next step that we need to do now is prepare the shirt to be cut into tiles, if you will, or pages. So what we're going to do is go to the draw tool and make a box. We're going to make sure that the box is transparent, and then I'm going to take away this 10 points on that. I'm going to just make it maybe 2. I don't want it as thick as this line, but I do want to be able to define it. So I'm going to leave it right there, and then we're going to make the box the size of the paper that you're going to be printing to. I'm using Super B, which is 13 by 19, so I'm going to make my page 12.5 by 18.5 because I want to give account for the 1/4 inch of space that your printer is not going to print to on the entire page. So the width of my page is going to be 12.5 by 18.5. Okay, and then I'm going to bring that box over to the shirt. With my shirt here, I'm going to take this. Now, I'm not going to refer to this as a box anymore. Now this is my page. This is page 1. I'm going to place page 1 over the first area or the far left side of my shirt, sort of almost butting it up to the left, and almost just giving myself a little bit of room on the left side and a little bit of room on the top. Okay, and then with page 1 highlighted, I'm going to go to Object, Replicate, Duplicate Right. Now I have page 2. Page 2 is butted up right against page 1. So the far right of page 1 is the exact same line as the left side of page 2. When you normally do this, again, it's going to print you out 1/4 inch on both of these pages. When you cut that white off, you have to be really precise about getting all of the white out, because if you leave any portion of that white on there, even if you butt this up, if it's not totally clean and with some of your image cut off, just a hair of it, you'll end up with a white line anywhere that you didn't fully cut off the white. So to help avoid that, I'm going to zoom in. And what we're going to do is, with page 2 highlighted, we are going to move page 2 over to the left 5 spaces. And for me, that equates to around about a ½ inch. So page 2 is highlighted. I'm just going to hit my over arrow, my left arrow, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What I've done is given myself a ½ inch space where page 1 and page 2 are printing the same area. So when I cut the 1/4 inch off, I can, in addition to that 1/4 inch of white space, I can also cut off like at least 1/8 of an inch of the actual image on both page 1 and page 2, because when we butt them up, we have at around about a ½ inch of overlap between the 2 pages. So you'll be able to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room doing that. All right, so now with page 2 highlighted, we're going to go to Object, Replicate, Duplicate Right. Now page 3 is in, and we're going to do the same. We're going to walk page 3 over to the left 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we've again given ourselves a duplicate area between page 2 and page 3. Object, Replicate, Duplicate Right. Now page 4 is there, and we're going to do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now with page 4 selected, we're going to go to Replicate, and we're going to say Duplicate Below. Page 5 comes in, and it already gives a count for the 5 spaces to the left because it's duplicating what page 4 is and where the position of page 4. So what we want to do with page 5 is we want to walk page 5 up 5 spaces. Okay, so now we have page 5, and we just need to walk page 5 up 5 spaces. We've already got it accounted for to duplicate over here. We just needed to walk up 5 spaces towards page 4 and 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now with that being what it is, we're going to go on over here again to, with 5 being selected, Replicate. We're going to duplicate to the left now. Page 6 comes in, and it's already got the account for the 5 up. We just need to walk it back to the right so that it can replicate, duplicate something that page 5 is printing. So you see right here, we can see that it already is overlapping page 3, is already overlapping the portion that it needs to with page 4. We just need it to go back and replicate page 5, and it'll line up right over here. Okay, so we're gonna take page 6 and go to the right 5 places. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so now you see right here, page 6, page 5, and 4 are going to be duplicating this area right here. Page 6, page 5, and 3, all of them will be duplicating right in here. With page 6 selected, we're gonna go, replicate, duplicate left for page 7, and back page 7 up to the right 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now with page 7 selected, we're going to go on and get page 8. Duplicate to the left, and then we're going to walk it back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm going to zoom in a little more so you can get to see where everything is duplicated and everything is lined up really good, so that you're going to have an overlap on the entire image. I'm going to zoom out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now, before I make any other sudden moves, I'm looking at the position of my shirt inside of these boxes. I don't want to touch the boxes. I don't want to touch the boxes at this point. But if for some reason, let's just say, I'm just going to move my shirt down. Let's just say if that much of the shirt was left out from there, I wouldn't go and print to have 3 more boxes. All you need to do is leave your boxes where they are and manipulate the shirt so that you'll be able to get the shirt to print within the confines of these 8 boxes. Now, when you get to this point, your shirt is fitting in the boxes good. You know that you're going to need 8 sheets of paper to print this. Well, theoretically, you're going to need 8 sheets of paper to print this. And this is what we want. So the shirt fits in there. There's a little bit of room. And remember, we've already adjusted the paper to the 1/4 of an inch. So it being this close to the edge of what we represent as the paper is not a big deal, because we've already taken off the 1/4 inch that we need to give the printer the extra paper. So with all of that being what it is, we have our shirt inside of the image. It fits inside of the pages. We looking good. What we're going to do is replicate this the number of times for each page. So we would need 8 copies of this so that we cut out each section. So we have the whole image and the boxes all selected together. I'm going to hit Control Copy or Control C so that I make a copy of it. I have that inside of my database. Okay. Because I usually just like to make a copy one time to have over to the side, like you see all of my pieces over here. I do generally try to keep it in case I do something wrong. I will have one over there. So for that, I'm going to do Control V so that I paste it. And I'm just going to move that one over there just so that if I mess something up, I still have a copy. While I have this one here, I'm going to click off and then I'm going to highlight the shirt, which is indicated by the black border with the green dot and the white little boxes. That's telling me that my image is selected right now. And then the marching ants box is touching the image inside of the red page 1. So I have the perimeter of page 1 in the marching ants, right? And then I know that my image is selected because I have the black box with the white little boxes in it. And then I'm going to let go and go to Object, Modify, and Crop. So what that did was it eliminated the image and only preserved page 1. Everything that was in page 1 is now confined here. So we're going to get rid of all of these boxes because we don't need those anymore. I'm going to do Control V, put my image back, and I'm going to move on to page 2. So again, I'm selecting the image and then I have the marching ants. I just drag it across any portion of page 2 or the red box that represents page 2. I'm going to click off, go to Object, Modify, Crop. Now I've essentially given myself the second sheet that I need to print out. I'm going to put that over there. We're going to get rid of all of these boxes and we're going to Control V again. Okay, I'm going to move on to page 3 and do the same thing. Object, Modify, Crop. We have all of the shirt images, shirt pages, the pages to put the shirt together. What I usually do, but I'm not going to do it because of the sake of the time of this video, what I usually would do is put it together and make sure everything lines up. I know that everything is going to line up. You don't have to worry about the borders here and the border here, because if you know that that's going to print onto your shirt, right? When you go to cut your image, you are going to be able to essentially cut this entire red line off on all of the parts that are on the interior of the shirt. Only red line that will remain is the red line on the exterior of the shirt. That's why you don't have to worry about the box being around there fully, because when you trim off the white border that's going to be on this page, you're going to include this red line when you go to cut it, and you're going to still be fine because that red line is less than the amount of space where the image overlaps. Okay, so all of the stuff that I have over there, we're going to just go ahead and leave it over there. I don't know how long we are at the point of this video, but if we were to just for all intents and purposes piece this back together, you will be able to see that's the wrong part. You will be able to see that I'm just going to throw it together really quickly, not trying to make it match up perfectly, because I want you to see that my little box that I created that would tell me whether or not this is going to fit in my print area. So that's my image there, and then I would just take my box, bring it to the front, and roughly place it on the shirt, and look, boom. I have plenty of bleed room. Let me zoom out so you see the bottom, right? My numbers are inside of the box. Here's the edge of where my shirt should lay. I have a little bit of room over there. I have plenty of room. Well, I got to move it over a little bit. See, there we go. I would move it to right about there. Right about there would be good. My young lady's elbow is inside of the shirt. My date is inside of the shirt. This actual line in the middle is not going to be there, but my main thing with the top box here, with the rectangle here, is making sure I had bleed in the armpit area and bleed up here on the shoulders. So judging by this, I should be in good shape to be able to go ahead and print this. And although I didn't have a 3X template, I should still be able to get this printed based on the bleed that is afforded in the design that of the template for this Jersey's 21M shirt. Now, the very next step that would be beneficial, you don't have to do it, but I'm just going to show you since we're here, and then this will be right before you print. So what you have to do before you go into print is I originally set this canvas up so that it would give me the workspace around my shirt, but you have to bring your canvas back down to the size paper that you're going to be printing, and we're using Super B, so that's 13 by 19. And then I'm going to turn my canvas back white. You're going to leave your shirt the way that it is, all of these little pieces. And then what you're going to do again as well, this part is what I'm telling you is not essential, but you can just go ahead and take each one of your pieces, put it on your canvas there, and then you can go and set up your print page. For me, since I have a Sawgrass SG 800 that I'm going to be using to print to, so I have to go and make sure that my parameters are set for that. And it's important that you do this, double check it. Don't take for granted that your printer setup is going to just always be correct. So you want to go into the page setup and make sure that you're using the right orientation. So I had 13 by 19 was up there, but it was default for some reason on landscape. So we're going to change that to portrait, and then you're going to hit OK. And then I would go to File and Print, and I would make sure that my printer that is selected is the Sawgrass Print Manager. Since I'm not using Sawgrass software, the Print Manager allows me to print to a device, a software outside of the Sawgrass program. And then I would just go ahead and say print. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm not going to print this out at this particular time, but that's the steps that you would take to make sure that your parameters and everything is set. Another note, if you don't have presets set on your printer, please go to your print profile and make sure all of the parameters are set correctly for your print to come out vibrant and for your image to be crisp. For me, I have to make sure that I tell my Sawgrass machine to print from the bypass tray once the print screen loads up. When you're using the Epson, you want to go in and change the color profile. Let's do that real quick and then I have to go, but we're going to go to print, and let's just say I was going to be using my 7710. This will be the one there. I would click on preference. I would go to the main page and make sure that I always turn on print preview, just because if something is wrong when you in print preview, you're going to see it before it starts printing. I would always turn on my print preview. If you have a preset, you can select it here. Like I have Super B preset right there. When I select that Super B, it's already situated to do what needs to be done for the Epson 7710. But then you would also want to make sure that you go to more options if you did not have a preset set there, and you want to make sure that you have mirror image on. You can deal with high speed or not if you don't want to, but you want to go to advanced and make sure that you're on ICM. Mine defaults to fixed photo, but you want to make sure that you have it on ICM and say okay, unless you have some other presets. Shakia Lavelle from Silaholics Anonymous and Silaholics Elite, she has a couple of different Facebooks. She does awesome tutorials on all of these things. She has tutorials. I'll also link her in here showing you how to do presets and how to set up your paper and everything for sublimation. I set that up from when I did mine with Angelo, and I've used it. I've never had a problem. I get good, crisp, bright colors. So you want to double check that and make sure even though I have a preset, I always come in here and double check and make sure that these things are on. So that's what you want to make sure you want to do. Then you're going to click apply, and then you'll go from there and do what you want to do. I'm going to, however, be printing to my Sawgrass Print Manager. When I go there, this Print Manager dictates the controls. I just have to make sure that it's set to Super B, it's on portrait, and it's okay. I'm going to click apply, and then I would click print, and then it will go through the process of doing everything. So I would line up each one of these pages and go through the process, print it all out. What you can do, what I was going to say real quick before I go, these little pieces like this, this is the part that I was telling you that is not essential, but it may be helpful for you to do this. You don't have to waste 3 sheets of paper, because you can put these 3 together. I want to move that to the back. you can put these three pieces together on one page. You see, because you have the liberty and the privilege of cutting off these borders, you will be able to cut them out on one page. So whereas our design said we needed 8 pages, we're actually going to make this design with 5, because these 3, we're going to group them together and put them on this page like this together. So what I'm going to do with them 3, I'm going to highlight them and I'm going to group them. So when I go to print them, they're all together on one sheet of Super B paper versus 3. Okay, I will try to come back and go through the process of printing this if I'm able to have Kimmy available to help me, because my setup for my press is a lot different, and I can't do it alone with the camera and everything. So if not, I will attach a video or attach some photos of the shirt printed out and let you know how it worked out. I promise I'll come back and tell you whether it worked or it didn't work, so that going forward you will be able to successfully print. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope that something that I've said today has helped you. If you're interested in sublimation, I again will link you to some people and some wonderful channels on Facebook and on YouTube where you can continue to learn. If you have any ideas you want to see us try here at Blessed to Bless, please leave a comment, like us, subscribe, follow us, look us up over on Instagram and on Facebook. And we thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to my new subscribers. I'm so happy, and you guys have encouraged me to press on and to keep going. Thanks again. Have a great day.